Hello, my loves. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome into this reading for the full moon in Pisces. So for those of you who are new, hello and welcome in. It's good to have you here. There is a tutorial video for how to get the most out of my readings. If you want to go check that out, you'll get caught up with all of the fun things that we're going to be doing here and all of the best ways to utilize these readings. It's not necessary, but it's a tool for you to get the most out of these readings. If you want to check that out, you certainly are invited to do that. For those who are not new, hello, welcome back. Thank you for being here. I truly love and appreciate all of you. It's a pleasure and an honor to support you in this way, and I appreciate you, and I'm grateful to be able to help. So let's talk about this full moon in Pisces. So first, what is a full moon? Well, this is when the moon is reflecting the sun to its maximum potential. And this is always the energy of celebration. It's a culmination point. It's an illumination of this sign, this energy, this cycle that we're in. So right now, the celebration energy is all around the zodiac energy of Pisces. So Pisces is the sign of the fish. It's the last sign of the zodiac. It is a water sign, and you can think of it like the ocean through which the entire story goes back into, like everything goes back into the ocean to become one again. And you can also think of it as the womb from which a new life kind of gestates and emerges from. In the zodiac story, the Pisces energy is the end of something and also at the same time the beginning of something. That's why you see the two fish. It's like the fish that's the end and the fish that's also the beginning. So this is what we're celebrating with the fullness of this moon. Now, the fun thing about this full moon energy is the full moon is always in the zodiac sign that's directly opposite where the new moon was and where the sun is. So the new moon was just in Virgo, and the sun right now is still in Virgo. So if you haven't watched my Virgo readings, there's an invitation to go do that. There's the solar season readings and also the readings for the new moon. So Pisces is like the complement and the opposite of this Virgo energy. So we're going from this energy of innocence into this energy of completion. And the other fun thing about full moons is that it is a cycle. So the full moon will happen on September 10th at 5:59 in the morning Eastern Time. And the cycle will last until the next full moon, which will be in Aries on October 9th. So the cycle goes from September 10th to 9th. So this advice that I'm going to be offering you is valid from that time frame. But the other fun thing is that full moons always reference back to the new moon. So when the moon was new in Pisces at the beginning of this year, there was something started there that we are now kind of celebrating the fullness, the completion of. And you can look back in your life to see what was going on in, I think it was March, when the new moon in Pisces happened. And you can kind of see what it is that's going to be completing for you. But we are going to be diving deep into how this moon shows up for you in your life. I'm so passionate about letting you know more about your own astrology and using the astrology with the tarot cards to help you get a better understanding of the cycles going on in your life and the energies at play within your being. So before we get into that, just a couple of things. If you want to support me, there's many ways to do that. I have a chakra meditation service that you guys can join for $14.40 a month. We go through one chakra every week and we focus on that same meditation every week. The meditations are about 15 minutes long, does vary. And you can sign up at devotedandvulnerable.com/services if you want to get into this service. That's one way you can support yourself while supporting me. You can also contribute financially to me at paypal.me/devotedvulnerable. The link is in the description here. And you can also just comment on this, share this, like this, engage with it as a way of supporting me. I like to get feedback. I like to hear what's confusing to you guys, what's working for you guys, what's resonating. I love hearing what's resonating for you guys. So just feel free to comment on the videos as another way of supporting me. So this is the intro. It's the same in every video. So I'll tell you which readings will be yours, and then you can navigate to the right video. So this full moon in Pisces wanted us to focus on two areas of our lives. The first area of our life that the full moon wants us to focus on is where the moon was when you were born. So this symbol is the moon symbol, and you're going to look up your chart for where this symbol occurs in the zodiac story. If you do not know how to find your moon sign, please go ahead and watch my How to Find Your Birth Information on astro.com tutorial video. It's a lengthy video, but it'll help you understand how to input your information, how to run a chart, and then how to read that chart. You'll only ever need to watch it once, hopefully, to get the knowledge that you need to watch these readings. And as always, if you have questions after you watch that video, please just reach out to me. I'm happy to help and explain further. So you're going to look for where the moon was when you were born, and you're going to watch the reading that aligns for the moon in the sign that the moon was in when you were born. The other reading, so you'll have two readings. The other reading that the Pisces moon wanted us to focus on is where this full moon is happening for you. So this full moon in Pisces is happening in 17 degrees 41 minutes of Pisces. So you'll have to find where that 17 degrees mark of Pisces shows up in your chart. I do describe how to find out the degree points in the zodiac wheel in that video. So feel free to watch that video. And again, if you have questions, please feel free just to reach out. I will go in detail about what these alignments mean in the individual readings. Lastly, before we dive deep in here, I do want you to know, heads up, the Mercury retrograde season is upon us, and it coincides very close with this full moon. Mercury goes retrograde the day before the full moon happens, and it'll stay retrograde until a week before the next full moon. So this is an important cycle as well. I've done a completely separate video for you to give you a little bit of guidance for how to navigate this phase. This is not going to be a reading. It's just going to be a little bit of understanding and guidance for you. So I do also recommend checking out that information to support yourself. And with all of that said, we are ready to dive into your individual readings. So this reading is for you if your moon was in Gemini when you were born, and or if the Pisces 17 degrees happens in your third house. The card that I'm about to draw is for you either way. So we're going to draw the card, do a little bit of an interpretation just generally on that energy, and then I'm going to describe how it relates to your moon sign and your house. We're going to get clarity from the Modern Mystic Tarot by Crystal Doty. She's such a special person in my life, and I love her. Okay. Wow. Here is your card. There it is. It's hard to see. Oop. Huh. Okay. You got the Eight of Fire. So this is the energy of something that's completing for you. So this card represents taking swift action, important things happening, and many things happening all at once. So you may have been feeling lately that like things are moving really fast, a lot of things are happening, and there's like lots of moving pieces. That energy is going to be completing for you with this full moon in Pisces energy. It's going to be a shift, and for those of us who are experiencing the shift from summer to fall, and then from fall to winter, we're really in this phase of things slowing down, of the nature around us is going within. The nature around us, like the outward activity is slowing down and the inward activity is picking up. So this may be an indication of that for you, where the inner world is going to become more important for you, and the things going on in the outer world are going to be coming to an end, coming to a close for you. I'm going to get into the specifics of how this impacts your moon sign, and then I will get into the house details. So if you are here for the house reading, just use the navigation bar to scroll ahead to that section. And if you're here for the moon in Gemini, hang tight. Moon in Gemini. So the moon, the planet, the body, astrological body, right? Because the moon's not really a planet, but we call it a planet in astrology. The moon, the planet, represents the what. So the what of the moon is emotions. The how is always represented by the astrological sign. This is Gemini for you. So how your emotions express are through wit, clever, energy, adaptability, and imagination. Your moon in Gemini, which is also where my moon is this energy of the twin archetype. So I've talked to our moon in Gemini friends about this before. The energy of Gemini is the energy of the twin. So for me, I feel this expressed as I can have two emotions going on at once that are completely contradictory, but both are completely authentic. So this is something that I've struggled with because I felt fake, right? I was putting one face on, and back here there's like a whole different story going on. And, I was judging myself internally for that. Like, wow, I'm really not presenting myself authentically to people. But then I started studying astrology and learned that, it's just that I have the Gemini ability to see both sides of something. And so because it's in my emotional field, I feel both sides of something. And that's an important thing for me to recognize and realize. So it feels like emotionally, there may have been a lot going on for you. There may have been just lots of different pieces, it feels like lots of emotional processing. And it feels like this emotional processing, this kind of like fire truck going to keep the house from burning down energy. That's what's completing. This is what the full moon is wanting you to know, that this emotional, important, everything happening all at once kind of energy, it's coming to a completion point. I just blew the card down with that breath. Yes. We're done with it. So I don't need to say anything more about this, but I do want to add that this full moon in Pisces energy really wants you to know that this card could be related to your house card, or could totally be a separate thing in your life that's completing, okay? Only you're going to know and get a ping for, I see how this relates to the house energy, because the house energy is where we're experiencing completion. So this is how we're experiencing completion. Like emotionally, we're experiencing this beautiful completion, things happening all at once. All that energy is like coming to an end. We're slowing things down. The alarm bell is not going off anymore. And it may be happening in the same area of our life that the house energy is happening, or it may be something different. So go ahead and find out where that Pisces 17 degrees 41 minutes happens in your chart, and then watch that reading too, keeping in mind this card and this advice may or may not be related to that advice. All right, my beautiful moon and Geminis, thank you so much for being here. And as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors that universal light within you. Namaste. All right, third house. Pisces 17 degrees 41 minutes. Welcome in. So the house is always the where of our story. So where this Eight of Fire energy is completing for you is in the house of communication. Definitely go ahead and watch that Mercury retrograde little offering that I gave, because the third house is ruled by Mercury, and is the energy. It's the planet of communication. So there's a lot going on here for you. It feels like your communications, like there may have been like a lot of important communications happening. You may have been talking to a lot of people. You may have been experiencing a lot of travel, experiencing something happening in early education that was very important and happening all at once and very fast. There may be a lot of data that was coming into your world and you're having to sift and sort through that all. And this like intake of information and communication that you've been going through, that cycle's ending. You're going to have time to integrate. You're going to have time to go through things. It's going to be less of like an alarm, like less of like there's a fire that needs to be put out kind of vibration when it comes to your communication realm, which again is this house. The third house rules this area of your life. And there's an end of this 8 of fire energy with technology, language, transportation, data, and early education. What else is here for you? If I didn't say it in your other video, this may or may not be related to your moon reading. So you can check back in and see, okay, what was the reading? Hopefully you're taking notes. You could just flip back and review. But what was the reading for what's completing emotionally for you? And does it relate to this communications completion of the 8 of fire, or is it separate? Just kind of dive into that and see where that lands for you. It doesn't mean you're going to stop communicating to people, okay? But especially while Mercury's retrograde, communications are always going to be a little bit backwards, a little bit wonky, a little bit not straightforward. So it's a good time to be done communicating. Not done, but lowering the importance level of your communications. Mercury also rules transportation and technology, and so this energy of like something really important needing to happen technologically or whatever isn't favorable for a Mercury retrograde cycle, and so this is a good completion for you as well. And the retrogrades always help us to revamp, revitalize, envision, redo our wherever it's happening. So communication goes under review 3 times a year. Mercury goes into retrograde a lot, okay, for 3 weeks. So it's not something to be afraid of. It's always very supportive for us, but only when we are aware of the cycle and aware of the influences it may have, and like we know that it's coming. So I'm harping a lot about the Mercury retrograde energy. That I'll probably say the same thing in the video, which I haven't recorded yet, but it'll happen. So just keep this in mind, that it's not important for you to communicate right now. It's actually important for you to like celebrate that you don't have to just communicate everything that you're thinking. There's the importance level of your communications, the technology, the transportation, the travel, the data, the early education, like all of that stuff is like, ooh, slowing way down for you. Is kind of completing this energy of everything needs to happen all at once. That's all I have for you, my beautiful third house. Thank you so much for being here. If you have questions, if this feels relevant for you, please feel free to comment. And as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors that universal light within you. Namaste.